welcome all to this tutorial. Today I am gonna go ahead and show you how you can set up VirtualBox with Fedora 22 and how you can install the new Kali Sana in it. Before I begin, a few things that I would like to go over with you. First off, I would like to sincerely apologize for the delay. I have reinstalled my main system and I have created Fedora 22 on it. I have Fedora 22 installed on it now, and upon installation, I've encountered before installation and upon installation, I've encountered a few issues that I needed to resolve. So let me put it to you this way: I started working one day at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I ended up working till 6 o'clock in the morning of another day, and I didn't even see the time pass by. Don't be afraid, I didn't have a lot of problems with VirtualBox. VirtualBox actually, I did have some problems with it, but that went relatively smoothly in comparison to a lot of other things. Namely, my sound, it just didn't want to work out. It just didn't work. I first thought it didn't work well with Fedora, then I thought it didn't work well with KDE, so I installed the GNOME and all the other thing, and I worked with GNOME then, desktop environment, and then I went back to KDE, and it was just a painful experience all around until I've actually realized that the VLC had problems in Fedora 22. I could play everything in it, it worked properly, but I couldn't record sound with it for some strange reason. I don't know. So I decided to go with another screen recorder, and now it's functioning. Now I can actually begin recording. This is actually the morning of that day when I fell asleep at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I started working back at around 10 or 11. So this is the second day pretty much almost straight in a row. Kind of funny experience, just wanted to share that with you before we begin. So first off, what you need to do is open up a terminal. I didn't still customize this Fedora 22 appearances to my liking, so this is still a bit messed up. Okay, so let's use this one. Clear, exit, clear. Anyway, first thing that you will need to do is you will need to become root. In order to become root, type in su, enter, and then type in the password. So you're right. What was the password again for my computer? I love reinstalling things late at night and typing in the passwords, so that can be an interesting experience. I guarantee it to you. This one? Nope. Okay, let's try this one. Yes, it's that one. Okay, so lesson learned: do not change your passwords at 3 o'clock in the morning before you go to sleep. Bad idea in general. Anyway, let's just go ahead and type in cd clear. And now what you need to do is the first thing that you need to do is DNF update. Notice that before we used to use yum, now it's just DNF. That is literally the only difference relevant to you. Okay, so I already done my updates. No need to go over that process. It lasted for a while. Next thing that I want you to do is, this step is not mandatory. There is a web browser embedded into KDE. It's called Conqueror. You might have installed the GNOME version of Fedora 22, which is also fine. It's completely irrelevant. Use whichever one you want. That's just a different desktop environment. That's all that there is to it. As I said, I'm primarily making this tutorial for all those who have already installed Fedora 22 and have had problems with VirtualBox. So this is the web browser Conqueror. You can use it, but I like to use Firefox. So I'm just going to type in DNF install Firefox. Okay, it says nothing to do, task complete, blah blah blah. I have already conducted an installation of Firefox. Now I'm going to go ahead and start it. And here we go. So we are connected to the internet, but let's go ahead and verify that just to be on the safe side. Google.com. The fact that your default website or that your home page opens up in a browser is not a proof that you are connected to the net, by the way, because those things can be cached. And yeah, so just use the ping command to get a reply. Once you get a reply, you know that you are connected because the packets are traveling to God knows where, and then they're coming back to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and first set up RPM Fusion. So just type in RPM Fusion. Go over to their website. You see the first one that pops up, rpmfusion.org. And on the main site, you literally have it here. It says enable RPM Fusion on your system. RPM Fusion free for Fedora 22. Just go ahead and click on it. Save file, OK to download. And then RPM Fusion non-free for Fedora 22. Click on it. Save file, OK to download. I'm not going to go through the downloads now because I've already downloaded them. They will be in your downloads folder. So cd home chronic in the downloads folder of the current user, that is. And I have them here. You see I've downloaded Kali Linux as well, so that we wouldn't have to go through the download process here. And all you need to do here really is just type in rpm space I and then type in rpm again in Fusion. And use tab for this, don't type it in yourselves. It says it's already installed. Great. RPM-I. The other one, which is non-free, RPM Fusion, non-free, installed. Okay, so it's already installed. No problems. Let's go ahead and clear the screen and type in DNF update again. I've done it, so no worries there. And once you're complete with all these updates and with the setting up of the RPM Fusion, I would recommend at this point of time to just reboot your machine and come back to this just in case. So here's my kernel output at the time. So uname -r, and it's 414200 FC22. But it doesn't matter if yours is different. This procedure should be universal and it should work across the board without any problems. But then again, just perform the updates. That's it. So next up, we need to go ahead and actually install VirtualBox. I've already installed it, but let's just go ahead, and I haven't fixed the issues that you are facing, that we're going to go ahead and do together. So first off, you need to type in DNF search VirtualBox, and you can see that I do have the kernel modules for my kernel, but doesn't really matter if you don't for yours. I will show you a way in which to do it. So you need to go ahead and find this package. So virtualbox.x86_64 and type in DNF space install VirtualBox. Okay, so this is going to install for you, no problems. I already have it here, but I just didn't want to go through the installation again. You won't literally need to do anything there, just press Y at a certain point of time, that's it. Next up, we are going to go ahead and start VirtualBox and begin to solve the problem that you have been facing. So VirtualBox. Okay, so I've already made one Kali machine. I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Delete all files. Click on New. Type in the name of your machine. I'm just going to type in Kali Sana Linux, and I'm going to type in Debian 64-bit. Okay, so let's go next. I'm going to go ahead and give it 1.2 gigs of RAM, but you can give less if you want. Don't think you should go below 800, but yeah, up to you really. See what works best for you. Let's go next, create, next. And here I've noticed that a lot of people have been making an error by assigning disk space. They've given too little disk space, and some people have given it in megabyte, and not in megabytes, but just like this, you give it 6 megabytes or 13 megabytes or something like that. there is no way that that is ever going to work. So yeah, you need to give it at least 30 gigabytes for 30 gigs for daily use. So let's go ahead and give it. I'm gonna give it 30 gigs. You can get away with less, but I mean, you're gonna have some files that are stored there in addition to the installation, and you will want to do some things. So I do believe that 30 gigs is an optimum amount, one of the optimum amounts. Sometimes I like to give like 128 just in case, but that's just because I have a lot of space to waste. If you're in a tight budget in terms of disk space, you can give it 30 gigs, and you should be fine working with no problems or anything of a kind. So let's go ahead and click on Create. That's it. We have now created a Kali machine. But now we need to go ahead and download the Kali Sana from the net. So let's go ahead and open up our web browser once again and type in Kali Sana. Or why am I typing in Kali Sana? Just type in Kali. That's all you need to do. Open up the first website that comes along. It's www.kali.org. It's HTTPS. And go into downloads, download Kali Linux, and there you go. It says Kali Linux 64-bit ISO and torrent version 2.0. I would advise you to go and get the torrent version because I've noticed that a lot of people have had corrupt ISO files due to slow connections and the breaking of connection. So just go ahead and download the torrent one. A safer way to go about things. Anyway, just go ahead and click on it and the download will begin automatically. There is nothing else that you need to do there. Once the download is complete, it would take me about 10 minutes to download it, so I'm not going to go ahead and do it now. Rather, instead, I have already downloaded. As you saw a moment ago in my downloads folder, it's already there. So I'm just going to go ahead and right click on this and go into settings. Go into storage, controller IDE, click on the empty one, click on the blue disk image here, choose a virtual CD DVD. Navigate over to your downloads folder. Down home, chronic, downloads, and is this the right one? Hold on. It is. There you go. So this is the ISO file that I need, that I want. You can see it is right there, .iso. And let's just go ahead and click on OK. So this is a normal setup that we've done before. Nothing really strange or new about this. Just go ahead and double click on the machine and you're going to get this error message. So failed to open a session of the virtual machine Kali Sana, and then you're going to get this error from VirtualBox as well. The VirtualBox Linux kernel driver blah 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 is probably not loaded. And I'm sure that all of you have seen this message a lot of times, and this was problematic for a lot of you. You couldn't go past by this. Try to help out people by manually installing the kernel drivers. But really, what we can do, because I didn't have Fedora 22 and I didn't really see this, didn't know that you can actually do this as well. So you can just basically follow through what the suggested solution from the VirtualBox is, and that should in itself solve the problem. Basically, it's instructing you how to install the kmods for the system that you're running this on. So let's go ahead and expand this, and we need to type this in part that is marked with blue letters. Literally, you can just copy it and paste it, and just well, this is an error on my part. You should not copy the quotation marks. So just Control C and then Control Shift V. And since you are using a Fedora 22, just replace yum with DNF. If you type in yum, it's going to automatically redirect you to DNF, so no worries there either. And this should work. And if this doesn't work, you always have the one below. This is the one that I have actually used. So I'm going to go ahead and go with it because this one below is a more general way of doing things. Don't know why I even grabbed the first one. But this is what we have been doing before. This is what we have been attempting to do before, but you couldn't find the proper versions, the system couldn't find the proper versions, and it was a pretty big problem. So instead, we're gonna go ahead and use this one, which was gonna help you install the proper ones, or a meta package, so to say, which one size fits all, so to say. And let's go ahead and press enter. Okay, so this is done, and now we're gonna copy this one below. So you see, there is nothing extremely technical about this. I mean, you just basically copy paste things. That's it. The system tells you what you need to do. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and click on abort, and I'm gonna click here on OK, close the VirtualBox, start the VirtualBox back up again, and then double click on Kali Sana. And as you can see, it is booting. So I am here in the boot menu, and I am free to choose whatever I wish from this option. Now in the follow-up tutorial, you're just going to go briefly through the installation process of Kali Sana, and that is going to be it. I hope that the solution provided here does work for you. As you can see, this is a fresh install of Fedora 22. I have updated it. I have imported the RPM Fusion repositories, and then I have I have installed VirtualBox from the RPM repositories and followed through what the suggested solution to the error was, and as you can see, it is working without any problems of whatsoever. So in the next tutorial, I also promise to show you how to install and run Kali Sana. I mean, it's not a terribly difficult thing to do. It's pretty straightforward. So we will go through that as well. But until then, I bid you all farewell.